What is up, basketball nerds? My name's Cam, and today we're back with another fantasy episode. We're going to go through some of the highest risers, fallers, and some great pickups off the waiver wire for this week. Let's get at it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment your favorite players for the week, and also follow our Instagram Jam Visions. Alright, so let's start with some risers for this week, starting with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has just come off about a 3-week hiatus due to a quadricep injury. He's averaging roughly 18 points a game, 10 assists, and almost 10 rebounds. So he's a great asset for triple doubles, getting those 3 statistic categories. But he's terrible at efficiency, he's awful at turnovers, and he's not a good free throw shooter either. So he's a very high risk, high reward player. It really depends on the build of your team. But look for him to really get those statistic categories in points, assists, and rebounds. Next up is OG Anunoby from the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors have been dealing with a lot of injuries due to Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry. They're 2 main stars, so OG has found himself a larger role the past week or so. He's averaging roughly 15 points, about 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and he's actually hitting 2.5 threes. So he's quite efficient from 3, surprisingly. But he's been amazing for steals. Last game he had about 5 steals, a block. So in the stocks category, he's killing it. He's definitely somebody to watch. I don't know if he can keep this up once Siakam and Lowry are back in the line and healthy, but he's been amazing so far. Alright, we have to talk about Utah. Utah is one of the sneakiest great teams in the league right now, and they're led by Donovan Mitchell. He had kind of a rough start to the year, wasn't really doing what he was doing in the bubble, putting up those amazing stats, but he's picked it up. The last couple games, he's dropped 28, 36, 23. He's been efficient, but he has been incredible from the three-point line. He's definitely somebody to watch moving forward. I'm assuming he'll be able to keep it up. Guys like Conley and Gobert have been feeding him the ball and playing well off of him. So Utah is definitely a rising team. Donovan Mitchell is going to have a lot of big games to come. We were all expecting Donovan Mitchell to take this kind of superstar leap this year, especially because of what he did in the bubble. And at the start of the year, he was kind of slow and didn't really produce what we were hoping. But it looks like he has figured it out, and he is on his way to being a superstar in the league. Alright, so it's come time to talk about some of the players that are underperforming, have fallen, and might find themselves on the waiver wire soon. So let's get at it. Boucher had one of the best mid-January stretches, definitely in the NBA. He was averaging almost over 20 points a game, 10 rebounds. He was getting a couple 6 blocks a games. And he was looking at like one of the biggest steals from the waiver wire. But he has definitely kind of cooled off. He's not as efficient as he was before. He's only getting roughly around 9 points a game. And it's just not there now. I don't really know what happened. I don't know if Aaron Baines has just kind of picked it up or they're going to Pascal a little more. But Chris Boucher has cooled off, and people who picked him up excited about the steal. I don't know if there's much to be excited about anymore with Boucher, so he's definitely somebody to watch, and he could find himself back on the waiver wire soon. Alright, so moving on to the Chicago Bulls, one of the most confusing teams in the league. I don't know what they're doing, but they have some talent, definitely. They have Lauri Markkanen, they have Wendell Carter Jr., they have Kobe White, the starting point guard. But let's talk about Kobe White. He seems to be trending downwards. He had a really strong start to the month. He was putting up 23, 36, 22, big nights. He's great for assists and rebounds for a point guard. but he's kind of falling off. I don't know if it's because Laurie's back, their main kind of scorer, but right now he's averaging 15, about 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He's shooting about 40%, which is pretty low, and only 35% from 3. So he's definitely somebody to watch. He seems to be kind of trending downwards. I don't know if he'll land on the waiver wire. He's still pretty good, but he's definitely somebody to keep an eye on. All right, so we have to talk about Mitchell Robinson, starting center from the New York Knicks. Advanced statistic guys were probably pretty excited about him and drafted him kind of high. He went pretty high in our draft, but he has not lived up to it at all. He's averaging about 9 and 8 a game. He's not shooting the ball a lot. He's only shooting the ball maybe 6 or 7 times a game, and he's getting in foul trouble. So he's seeing his minutes go down drastically. He's only averaging about 28 minutes a game, which is kind of surprising for a starting center. Super underwhelming. We were hoping for him to kind of have a breakout year and be one of these Rudy Gobert-esque type of players, somebody who can put up 14 and 12 a game. But he's looking super underwhelming. He's not even shooting a great percentage either. So he's kind of a hard position for teams. I don't know if he has much trade value, but he's still valuable enough to keep on a roster. So I guess with him, just hold. Hope he gets better. But tough loss this year for Mitchell Robinson. And last but not least, it's time to talk about some of the best waiver wire pickups for this week. Players that usually aren't rostered, that deserve one because they're playing out of their mind. So let's get started. All right, so we got to talk about DeLon Wright, the originally backup center to Derrick Rose in Detroit. Obviously, Derrick Rose has not been able to stay on the floor, so DeLon Wright has been getting a lot more time. He was kind of a weird player during the draft. He was ranked really high. He was kind of top 60, and I was a little confused by that, but somebody drafted him and then quickly waived him because he was pretty useless at the start of the year. But he's really turned it around. He is incredible at stocks. He gets a lot of steals, lots of blocks, and he can be a triple-double threat randomly. He's not a great scorer. He's not a great shooter, but he's an incredible passer, and he's an incredible rebounder for a guard. So he's definitely somebody that's going to pick up counting stats and get you stocks. So he's definitely somebody to look at, and if he's on your waiver wire, pick him up fast. And last but not least, we have to talk about Justin Holiday, the backup forward from Indiana. He's been playing in the minutes of TJ Warren and the recent acquired Karis LeVert, who are both out for who knows how long. He's been playing out of his mind. He's been a great pickup for people, kind of in that streaming position, knowing that it's probably not going to last the whole season. But as of late, he's been averaging about 11 points, 4 rebounds. He's shooting almost 50%. He's shooting over 40% from 3. And he's not an awful free throw shooter at 77%. The last couple games he's put up 19, 16, 15, 20, but he's getting close to double-doubles every game. Super efficient player, and he's going to get you steals and blocks. So if he's on your waiver wire and you're needing some stocks, you're needing some rebounds, and just efficiency, I'd pick up Justin Holiday. All right, that is it for this week, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment some players that have been working out for you, and don't forget to follow our Instagram at JamVisions. Take care.